Just a short journey down the road took us to our first Maori village, just outside Rotorua, called Wakatawera.
This is a genuine thermal village, not a theme park. These Maori villagers welcome and teach visitors their traditions and values.
Are you joining the boat tour? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Our first encounter was with the children of the village called penny divers, who dive for visitors' money as form of pleasure.
People once used. Now the top of the plant grew out of the water, and this was used as a metro space.
So people living in this village, and there's like smoke coming from them
Okay, now all the
everywhere.
pools
It's
and
mad.
vents that you view here in our village, they are above boiling point. Such pools or vents that you view on either side of the bridge are such that can occur without warning.
We had timed our visit perfectly. A personal tour guide from one of the Maori villages was just about to begin her talk.
You use the steam box how you would your oven or your stove. It is actually what the younger generation here in the village call the Maori microwave. The reason being, you would cook and prepare your food in a pot, a dish, a tray, muslin cloth, tin foil, place your food in here, put the lid on top and let your food cook. On a normal day for our locals that live here in the village, before going to work they'll actually place their prepared food in here, put the lid on top and then they'll go to work. When work is finished they'll come back, take the lid off and their food is all ready to be eaten. Because one of the best things about our steam box is nothing ever burns. A frozen chicken will take an hour and 15 minutes. Mutton will take longer, but the longer you leave your meat in here, the more tender, the more delicious it will be to eat, I can assure you. We don't cook cakes or biscuits in here, but we do have a pudding that we cook in here. It's actually called steam pudding, and just like your basic chocolate cake that you would cook in the oven, you wouldn't open the oven too early on in the cooking process because your cake would go flat, and that is exactly what happens to our steam puddings. You have to remove the lid too early in that cooking process. And any decent sized rock that you can see here, folks, would be placed on top of the lid here, and this would indicate to me or any of the villagers that live here that such a pudding was being cooked in there, so they wouldn't remove the lid, and that's what you saw just as we passed that first steam box. But as you can see, there's no rock there, so I'm going to take the lid off, and somebody's food is cooking in there at the moment. And I can assure anybody here that the actual food has enhanced flavours to it, and if anybody would like to try something that's been cooked in here, our cafe can cater to that, and I can show you where that is along the way. However, folks, because you have come at a late time, the actual cafe is closed. Tomorrow, if you're not aware, you can come back in on your same ticket, and you can purchase a meal there if you want to that has been cooked in our steam boxes.
Our guide talked then about their mineral springs, where they have bathed for generations.
It's soft feeling, it has a substance in it, which most of you visitors would use in such things as facial scrubs and moisturisers.
These rock formations in the background are called geysers. They release water pressure from the Earth's core. Our guide explained about their eruption habits.
The next 2 hours, in the next 5 minutes, or in the next 3 days. They could go like this for the next 2 hours and then die down for the next 4 days. Okay, so they are just acts of nature. On the right hand side, the smaller of the two geysers is what we call Prince of Wales feathers. To the left hand side, folks, the bigger of the two geysers, Pohutu, which means to spout or to erupt.
What do you think?
Very interesting. This is real museum. You can't get this anywhere. Fascinating.
We were then shown a Maori ancestral meeting house.
This is actually a flagpole, man. The actual flagpoles are used when you have bereavements. There's actually 2 flags flying. Okay, it actually tells you from which sub-tribe the actual person that's died is from and which tribe they're from. Okay? When I talk about tribes and sub-tribes, the tribe that is from this area is called Te Arawa, and as I said, they're all based on ancestors, really.
These communal houses, or better known to us as community centres, gather the villagers and visitors for special events like marriages and deaths.
There is also a house of worship, and most Maori tribes are practicing Catholics.
Now just coming back to the cemetery here, mate, so here's to view this memorial.
The memorial is to Magi Pakakura, who was one of the firstborn of the eldest line in the noble and sacred ancestors which arrived here in 1350, from which all Maori tribes in New Zealand are descended from.
Later that afternoon we went on a hike around the village and through the hot lakes and small mud pools that surrounded the community. The sights were interesting, but the smell was unbearable. All the sulphur produced smelt like rotten eggs. We then headed back to the car. The day was coming to a close and we had one more location to visit.
Well, we've just popped up here to Waitupa, I think it's pronounced. I'm not sure, that these names are quite a handful for me. And the sights up here are a lot better than they were down there. No disrespect to the ones down there, but these are a little bit more active. It's just a phenomenon. I've never seen anything like this in my life. It's quite unusual, really. Like I said, it's a shame that you can't experience the smell, because it smells like rotten eggs, but that's obviously the sulphur due to the mineral content. But enough of me blabbering on about the chemistry, because I probably don't know what I'm talking about anyway, but enjoy the sights, because it's quite well, it's just a feat of natural phenomenon.
Well, we've had a completely New Zealand day today. We've been to Rainbow Springs, seen all the weather, and then we've just visited Wakatawera Thermal Village. It's somewhere around here in Rotorua. It's not actually on the map. Very fascinating, very interesting. So you know everything about New Zealand, eh? You can go home if you want to. But we're not. We're going to find somewhere to stay and then look for something to eat. And that's today.